Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Holly and I'm very happy to have you here today. Today I'm sharing with you a Crocktober collaboration video. So we're sharing slow cooker meals with you, and I have a lot of YouTube friends that are going to be in the playlist. I'm going to leave that link down below in the description box. So please be sure to check that out. They're going to have lots of meals that you can make for your family. And it is being hosted by two of my sweet friends, Melissa at I'm Merely Melissa. She has absolutely great content on her channel. And Molly at Molly Purcell. She has great meal prep ideas and everything on her channel. Please be sure to check them out. Links will be in the description box. And for this Crocktober collaboration, I'm going to make just a simple beef stew. I have not made this one before. I have a few others that I will link down below, but this is very similar to some of the ones I have made. And for this you will need 2 pounds of beef chuck or some stewing beef, and you want to make sure that that is cubed up and that the meat is dry, because we're just going to saute it a little bit before putting it into the crock pot. But you need 3 tablespoons of flour, about a half a teaspoon of some garlic powder, and about a half a teaspoon or so of some pepper, 4 cups of beef broth, and you will also need 1 cup of V8 juice. This is new to me as far as in a recipe. I don't usually cook with this, so this recipe is different than what I normally do. Also 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. You will need about a cup of celery chopped up, sliced up, and about 2 cups of carrots. So you can put as much or as little as you want, really. Also 3 cups of potatoes, roughly. So that just depends on how much potatoes you like in your stew. I probably have just a little bit more than 3 cups, but we like potatoes in the stew. Definitely like a hearty stew. And you will also need either a teaspoon of dried or a half a teaspoon of dried thyme or 2 fresh sprigs. It also calls for 1 fresh sprig of rosemary or a teaspoon of dried rosemary. We don't really care for rosemary that much in our recipes, so I'm using fresh parsley instead. So that's completely up to you. Also 1 onion chopped up, and it calls for about 3/4 cup of peas, and that will go in later. If you don't like peas, you can absolutely leave that out. 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch for a cornstarch slurry for the end of the recipe when we want to kind of thicken up that gravy a little bit. And now I'm going to show you really quickly how to put all of this together, and like I said, very simple, easy recipe. So you can omit doing this. You do not have to do this step. But I added 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil to a pan with some melted butter, about 2 tablespoons, and that butter helps to add a little flavor. But you can skip this if you don't want to go through this step. This is just some flour with the garlic powder and the pepper. You just mix that in, you toss your meat in the flour to coat it, and you want to make sure that meat is dry when you do that. Then add it to the hot oil. You will cook this up until it gets kind of crispy a little bit. You get a little crust on it. You don't cook it for very long because you want it to cook the rest of the way in the crock pot. Then you just remove it, and I'm going to have to do 2 batches, so that's what I'm doing here. But as I said, if you don't want to do this step, you do not have to. You can just go ahead and put this in the crock pot on its own, but it does add flavor. And then here, I got a little impatient because we were waiting for my daughter and 1-year-old grandson to call for FaceTime. So I just ended up adding the onions in with the beef in that last bit, just to kind of go a little faster. I did take the meat out and cooked or sauteed the onions just a little bit longer, and you will have a little bit of bits in the pan once you take the onions out. So what you will do with that is add 1 cup of beef broth. You want to kind of deglaze the pan a little bit, and if you have like red wine or something like that, you can also do that as well. So you just want to get those bits up, and I just cook that down for a few minutes just to, release all of that good flavor that's on the bottom of the pan. And then once you kind of deglaze it a little bit, you will actually take it out and put this back into your crock pot along with the beef that was also sauteed in the pan. So add all of that to the crock pot. Then you add the potatoes. Then add the celery and the carrots. Add the Worcestershire sauce. Add 1 cup of the V8 juice. Then add the rest of the beef broth. So you should have about 3 cups if you have a large container like that. Then I'm adding the thyme and the parsley. But if you're going to add rosemary, you would add that in as well, or any other seasonings you would like to add to this. Then just give it a stir, and you want to just make sure all of that just gets, mixed in well. I'm adding some more salt because whenever you have potatoes, I just feel like you have to have more salt, even though we try to watch our salt intake. But potatoes definitely need to be seasoned. Cover and cook on low for 8 to 9 hours or on high 4 to 5 hours. The last 20 minutes of cooking, you want to take the cornstarch, add it to the water, and make a slurry. And this is going to help thicken up that gravy. So just pour it in, and then you're going to just stir it all together. And it really does work well. So add the peas. And as I said before, if you don't like peas, don't add them. But, we like them, so we do add those. Cover it for about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, and just let that finish cooking. And this is what it looks like when it's done. And it's just a nice, simple, hearty, delicious beef stew. And I have a few other recipes of beef stews that I will link down below that I've made. I think that you might enjoy, and we really do enjoy this type of meal this time of year when the weather gets cooler. But I was hoping to have more recipes in this collab, but life got in the way, so I was unfortunately not able to do that. So I'm going to try to put a few crockpot meals up maybe later in the month, so just keep a lookout for that. Please don't forget to check the playlist down below and Melissa and Molly's channels as well. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more like it, please click that subscribe button and the notification bell. That will notify you when I post new videos. Hope everyone has a blessed day, and I thank y'all so much for watching. God bless y'all.